Loyalty from an avoidant is not guaranteed through love alone. They can feel genuine affection for someone and still walk away. They can care deeply and still choose fear over commitment. But there are specific ways of engaging with an avoidant that create something more powerful than fleeting attraction or even deep feeling. They create psychological safety so profound that the avoidant's nervous system stops associating closeness with threat. When this happens, when someone consistently provides an experience that contradicts everything the avoidance wound has taught them about relationships, loyalty becomes not just possible, but inevitable. The avoidant who feels genuinely safe with someone does not leave. They do not need to. The compulsion to run disappears because the environment that triggered it no longer exists. Become the one person who never uses their vulnerability against them. The avoidant's core wound is the belief that being vulnerable leads to pain. Every time they have lowered their defenses in the past, it resulted in dismissal, abandonment, or having their exposure weaponized. This history is why they guard themselves so fiercely. But if you consistently demonstrate that their vulnerability is safe with you, if you receive what they share with care and never use it against them in moments of conflict, never reference their disclosures as ammunition, never mock or minimize what they trusted you with, something shifts fundamentally in how their nervous system perceives you. You become categorically different from everyone else in their history. You are the person who knows their wounds and has never exploited them. This creates a loyalty rooted not in dependence, but in genuine trust, which for the avoidant is the rarest and most valuable thing another person can earn. Make them feel chosen rather than needed. The avoidant flees from people who need them because need feels like obligation, and obligation feels like imprisonment. But being chosen, being genuinely selected from available options by someone who would be fine without them, creates an entirely different emotional experience. If you consistently communicate through your actions that you want the avoidant in your life, while clearly being capable of thriving without them, you create the precise dynamic where loyalty can take root. You are not desperate for them to stay. You are not organizing your entire existence around their availability. You are simply choosing them, repeatedly and authentically, while maintaining your own wholeness. This experience of being wanted without being needed is addictive to the avoidant because it allows them to experience love without the terror of being consumed. They become loyal to you because staying with you never requires them to abandon themselves. Respect their need for space without punishing them for taking it. The most direct path to avoidant loyalty is demonstrating repeatedly that their need for space will always be respected and never weaponized. When they withdraw, do not guilt them. When they need time alone, do not make them pay for it with your emotional withdrawal afterward. When they return from their processing space, welcome them without interrogation or resentment. This consistency creates something revolutionary for the avoidant, a relationship where their fundamental need for autonomy does not destroy the connection. They learn through experience that they can be themselves, patterns and all, and you will still be there. Not because you lack self-respect, but because you understand that their need for space is not rejection. This understanding, demonstrated not once, but consistently over time, creates loyalty because the avoidant has finally found someone they do not have to choose between themselves and. They can have their autonomy and have you. This combination is so rare that once they find it, they protect it fiercely. Show them that emotional intimacy will not destroy them. The avoidant avoids emotional intimacy because they genuinely believe it will annihilate them. Their defensive structure exists because, in their experience, getting too close always ends in devastation. But if you can create small, consistent experiences of emotional intimacy that do not end in pain, you begin to rewire this fundamental belief. Start with tiny doses of vulnerability that you invite rather than demand. Create moments of connection that you do not exploit or escalate beyond what they can handle. Allow them to retreat without punishment and advance without pressure. Over time, these repeated positive experiences of intimacy without catastrophe begin to teach their nervous system that closeness does not equal destruction. This rewiring does not happen quickly or linearly, but it is the foundation of permanent loyalty because the avoidant who has learned to associate emotional intimacy with safety rather than danger has no reason to run. You have given them the one thing that no one else in their history has provided: evidence that love does not have to hurt. Why loyalty from an avoidant is the most powerful kind. When an avoidant commits their loyalty, it is not given lightly or automatically. It is earned through sustained experience, tested through their worst moments, proven through cycles of advance and retreat that eventually stabilize into genuine security. The avoidant who is loyal to you has overcome their most fundamental psychological resistance to do so. They have faced the terror of vulnerability and chosen to remain present despite it. They have fought their every instinct toward self-protection to show up consistently for someone they trust. This loyalty, when it is real, is profound and lasting because it was not default but chosen, not easy but hard-won, not given but earned through your consistent demonstration that you are worthy of the risk. The avoidant who finds someone safe enough to be loyal to does not look elsewhere. They do not need to. They have found what their attachment wound convinced them did not exist: love that does not require them to disappear to survive it.